Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret there, boys out there who are getting into relationships, you know, being into women and whatnot. If at any point during your relationship you say to the boys, or not to the boys, you say to yourself as you're thinking about your relationship, should I break up with this person for a crack at some Swedish vagina, and you've been with them for over, I believe that in the movie they say 3 years. Hello everybody, I'm going to try something. It's called Blockbuster Reviews. It's where I play a game of chill marathon on Tetris Effect, and during that game, and only the game, I am allowed to speak about a film. I'm going to review it the best I can. Now, the tentative idea is that the first 50 lines are spoiler-free, without spoilers. For the first 50 lines of this game, I'm going to be talking about the movie in general, my thoughts on it, and how good or bad I think it is without spoiling. After that, when I hit line 50, I'm going to start talking about spoilers. If you don't want to get the movie spoiled for you, I would leave the video. And after that, as things get more intense, it's probably going to get weirder, because I'm going to try and keep talking while playing Tetris, probably at like level 10 or 12 when we get to 100 lines. So the idea is I keep talking about the film, and I can only talk about it as long as the game lasts. So, without further ado, here is me trying to do a Tetris Effect chill marathon review of a movie, and I won't start talking about the movie until I start the game itself. So, as soon as it hits 1 on the 3, 2, 1, let's go, I'll start talking about the movie. Now, here we go. Strap in. Everybody. 3. So, Midsommar by Ari Aster, a great movie, a great horror movie, and I'm not usually one for horror movies. In fact, they usually make me a little afraid. I get easily freaked out, and the last Ari Aster affair that I saw before this one, I think he only has 2 feature films, so that's pretty dumb to say, but the other Ari Aster film, Hereditary, put me in a depressive state, I would say, for a couple of hours, because I wasn't ready. That's the way to describe it. I was not ready. Now, this film, Midsommar, it's different than Hereditary. Hereditary was a family drama that is also a horror, while this is a disromantic comedy, even though there's nothing funny about it at all. It starts out with the main character, and I have their names here for a quick look, Danny, played by Florence Pugh. I don't know how to say her last name. I apologize immediately. Every time I see the name, I know I'm going to say it wrong. She's in the new Black Widow. She's in Little Women, which did very well, and I haven't seen because of my raving chauvinism. Not showmanism. That's not a word. Showmanship is a word. Anyway, back to Midsommar. So Midsommar is about Danny and her boyfriend Christian, and I'm not going to say his real name because he chose to be a character. Wow, that was a fucking terrible move. I don't know what I'm thinking because I'm talking when I'm trying to play this game. But her boyfriend is the same guy in Transformers Age of Extinction that was used as to... Oh, my remake Final Fantasy VII just downloaded. Might be playing that later. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Ooh, okay. Well, I don't really care who that actor is, the guy who plays her boyfriend, and I don't really care about the character's name, because he played a dude in a movie that explained why it's okay for him to have sex with an underage girl to Mark Wahlberg, by bringing up a very real law that really exists, and it felt weird and gross and bad in a weird, gross, bad movie, so that dude is forever tainted by me. But anyway, this film doesn't help him either, because he plays this boyfriend, and while Florence Pugh's character, Danny, is dealing with a traumatic family experience, I'll spoil this in the first 50 lines because it's in like the first couple minutes of the movie, her sister, who is dealing with depression and thoughts of suicide, kills herself and her family, the parents, inside the home. And before that happens, it's become clear that these two are in a relationship that it's on its dying breaths. to give you an idea, the boys, because this boyfriend has a crew of boys that I'm sure he calls the boys. They are talking about how we're already past spoilers, but they're talking about how they want to go on this trip to Sweden, and he should break up with her before then so he can get some Swedish vagina. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret there, boys out there who are getting into relationships, you know, being into women and whatnot. If at any point during your relationship you say to the boys, or not to the boys, you say to yourself as you're thinking about your relationship, should I break up with this person for a crack at some Swedish vagina? And you've been with them for over, I believe that in the movie they say 3 years, you should break up with them. Because if you're seriously considering that, you don't want to be with them anyway. So just do everybody a favor in your friend group for them, for the person specifically, just be honest with them and break up with them. But instead, she, at that meeting with his boys, he gets a call from her that the girlfriend's sister did it. She killed herself. She killed her parents with carbon monoxide in the car, running a hose. Like, pretty interesting setup and very dark scene. Very dark, beautifully shot. This movie is beautiful, which is awkward. That's one of the weirdest parts of watching Midsommar, is just how beautiful it is, and how all of the horrific things are happening in these beautiful daytime shots that are like, are we in a Disney live-action remake? No, we're in a horror movie that's gonna kind of haunt you for a little bit. Even though Disney live-action movies are haunting for different reasons. But they, in an interesting twist, she finds out at a party after this horrible traumatic experience that her boyfriend was planning on going on this trip and didn't mention it to her. And they have one of those passive-aggressive you should break up fights. You know, the movie is really about toxic relationships. And I'm getting into this really early, and oh man, I am so close to not having control of this game. But the movie is about toxic relationships and really the horrors of dealing with it, because basically all the dude friends know they don't want to be together anymore. Everybody knows they shouldn't be together anymore. And just because of this tragedy, he's forcing this and dealing with all of these things. It's not his thing to deal with. I mean, if you really have a partner you respect and love, you deal with things together, and he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to do the nice thing and be the nice guy, when really the right thing to do would be like, hey, I know this is hard, and I want to be there for you in a friendly way, but we don't have a good relationship. That's how the movie would be if it wasn't a horror movie from Ari Aster, who is a sick man. Especially if you look up his short story stuff. Holy Jesus. So, Midsommar, didn't even get to the main plot. They go on this trip to Sweden. There's this awkward part where he goes like, hey, I invited her, there's no way she's gonna go, just pretend like I invited her and everything's cool, but there's no way she's gonna go. She ends up going. She ends up doing tons of drugs with all these people, and then they get to this weird Swedish town where shit is automatically weird. They're all wearing like traditional garb, everybody's smiling, and maybe it's my own feelings of happiness, but man, too much smiling, and everything is just hunky-dory, and they're also giving them hallucinogens. Do not trust a guy in traditional garb of any kind giving you hallucinogens. That's day one stuff, guys. Don't be doing it. So, they start tripping balls, they start engaging in these events, and one of the kids who is an anthro major actually knows what some of these events are, and he gets a hint of what they're going to be doing, and he doesn't tell them that it's going to involve the death of, like, old people. Like, where these two old people sacrifice themselves for the rest of the village and whatnot. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's such a good movie. You should all see it. If horror movies are not your thing, just think of it as an art film, because that's really what it is. It's artistic horror, which we need more of in our lives, because art has less censorship to worry about. You don't have Disney cracking the whip. Wow, a lot of Disney references in this review about Midsommar. but you don't have somebody over your shoulder telling you, like, oh, well, you can't do that, that's not gonna do well in this market, or that's not gonna do with pregnant women over 40. It's just like, no, this is what the fucking movie is about. It's about horror. It's about, and this movie is about a very interesting topic, the idea of a toxic relationship and what it does to people and what it does to a person and what they have to do to get out of it. I think one of the most powerful parts of the movie, after a... Oh, wow, I have not talked about anything important about this film, and that's kind of the point of this, isn't it? Go see it. That's the important thing. As I fail here and don't get what I want to say out, go see it. It's amazing. Great performances. There's a scene with Florence, who plays Danny. It's haunting because of how real it is, where the girls of this village just grieve with her over the news that her boyfriend was cheating on her with, like, one of the girls in the thing, and I didn't get it. Didn't get it. It didn't happen. So, that's it. Midsommar. Go watch it. It's about toxic relationships. It's about fighting your way out of them. It's about being a better person, but it's also about how shitty your boyfriend's friends are. Women. Because that girl Danny had no female friends. I should be done talking about the video. I'm done talking about the movie. Go see Midsommar. It's awesome.